no. Come on, where is it?
Dave, it's your Idaho Central app here. Any chance you're missing a debit card? Let's get that taken care of for you. With ICCU's card control, you can turn any card off with the tap of your finger.
You got it.
And back on again. Ow, 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 ow. The closest Idaho Central Credit Union branch is in your pocket.
Ooh, the gym. My old stomping grounds. Hank Patterson, Fly Fishing Guide.
Riley Smith, tight end.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Hey, you wouldn't happen to be the kicker?
No, tight end.
Again, thank you. I'm looking for a kicker for Lithia Ford's fall kickoff sale. But you're not the kicker.
No.
Yeah, the kicker's probably taller and in a lot better shape. So, okay. What position do you play?
Tight end.
Squats. Yeah, try it sometime.
RowPaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, is going all in this season with an all-star lineup. First up, he led the Broncos to 3 conference championships and 10 20-win seasons. It's Coach Leon Rice. Next, he's the founder and CEO of RowPaint.com. He played a little basketball in high school on the driveway with his mom. It's Andy Rowe.
Oh, no. Want to just paint my house?
Now that I can do. When I want Boise State to win, I trust Coach Rice to lead the Broncos to victory.
And when I want the best painting and garage floor coating, I trust RowPaint.com to get that job done right.
It's time for the Lithia Ford of Boise Postgame Show from Bronco Nation News. We're breaking down the game with highlights, interviews, analysis, and most importantly, you. Give your thoughts on the game in the YouTube chat or Facebook comments, and we'll include the best ones on the show. Check out LithiaFordBoise.com to view their full inventory of vehicles, or check them out at 8853 West Fairview in Boise. Today's broadcast is coming from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Now let's head out and join BJ Rains for the Lithia Ford of Boise Post-Game Show from Bronco Nation News.
Well, that was a tough one, Boise State fans. The Broncos fall in overtime, 90-84. We're going to hear from Danny Sprinkle, the head coach at Utah State. We're going to hear from Leon Rice, and we're going to hear from Tyson Degenard and Omar Stanley after the Broncos cannot hang on late. They were down 4. They get a couple buckets. They take the lead. A technical foul called on Danny Sprinkle, which I thought was kind of a weak call. I mean, he must have really said something to get teed up with a minute left in a 1-point game. But he did, and Boise State makes the free throws. They're up 3. Back and forth. Omar Stanley a chance to win the game, or at least put them up 3, I guess, at the line. Makes the first, misses the second. I don't really understand why Boise State had 2 guys up there on the line. Leon Rice says that's what they usually do. Leon Rice said the one error was Roddy Anderson pressuring forward instead of coming back. And so Boise State ended up having like 4 guys inside the opposite 3-point line. Once Utah State had the ball with 6 seconds left, they come on a break, and it's Omar Stanley trying to guard their guard in transition. And it ends up with a basket that goes in to tie the game. And then it goes to overtime. Boise State, I think, shoots 2 of 10 from the field in overtime and falls again in this one, 90-84. Just a very tough loss for Boise State. Their second home loss in the past 3 games. They're now looking at a streak where they go on the road 3 of the next 4 games to New Mexico, to Colorado State, and to Utah State, with only a home win to Air Force mixed in there. And then, their easy stretch includes a game at Wyoming, who has now beaten Nevada and Colorado State at home. They were down 11 with a minute to go, came back and won today in dramatic fashion in overtime. So Wyoming proven to be a tough place to go play on the road now, and so that's not even a guaranteed win. But just not a great overall game. I know folks want me to blame the refs. I'm not going to do that. The refs were not good for either team. You would like to have a more experienced crew. I asked that to Leon Rice. He said it was a trick question, but he kind of said, he said, well, this game deserved, and then he kind of stopped himself. But the officials were terrible on both sides. As I just said, I don't think Danny Sprinkle should have got the technical. I don't think, it was just back and forth, bad calls on both sides, and none of those referees were very experienced, and you would have liked to have had a more experienced crew in this game. The officiating is not why Boise State lost. It was bad for both sides. But I do think it was a factor in this game on both sides. Both sides had reason to be frustrated. Leon Rice did kind of rip the fifth foul on Omar Stanley. He said there's not much you can do when the guy falls down and you get called for a foul. So there were a lot of questionable calls like that on both sides. I didn't know if there should have been a flagrant foul on the elbow on Omar earlier in the game. There was just a lot of, back and forth, both teams complaining about calls, and that's just like when there's 150 games, you don't have a lot of options on a Saturday to get a good crew, and the game's not on TV, and so just pretty bad for the Mountain West. So you had first place on the line, and you had a guy that had reffed 11 games this year, and another guy that had done 19, and yes, all three refs are from Utah, but I don't think that's necessarily had anything to do with it. You're not giving calls to one side or the other if you want to rise up in this profession just based on where you live. So I'm not going to blame the refs not going there, but I will say they were terrible for both teams, and this game deserved a better crew, no doubt about it. Both coaches getting called for technicals, some key calls at different spots in the game. I just thought the refs were terrible in this game. But, Boise State just didn't make enough shots to win. Chibuzo Abo, 4 of 14 from the field. I do like the fact that he took 14 shots. You think he most nights would make more than 4 of them. I did think he rushed a couple of them at times. Max Rice, another tough shooting night for him, 4 for 15. Just can't get those floaters and those post-ups to fall. And there was about a 3 or 4 possession stretch where he missed like 3 layups in a row right there, just shots that rimmed off. And he gets in there and kind of does this big finger roll thing when you think he might have a better chance to just lay it in. I'm not sure if he's trying to get cute there or trying to avoid the block or what, but it seems like he's trying to be a little too acrobatic with some of these layups. And so keep waiting for Max to break out of it. He was 3 of 8 from 3. He hit a couple of shots early in the game, and you're thinking, okay, Max Rice, this is going to be the Max Rice game. But he just continues to not be able to make those short shots. He hit some in the Fresno game, but tonight was what we had seen for much of the season, just trying to post guys up, trying to create, and I get it, the team's struggling. You really want to try to make something happen, but I'm just not sure Max Rice posting guys up and trying some of these kind of one-handed fadeaways and stuff are shots that, make the most sense for this team. Omar Stanley, 7 of 11, 20 points, 9 rebounds. I mean, him fouling out was just crucial for this team. Tyson Degenhart, 24 points for him. He played very well, but he had 4 fouls as well for a good chunk of the game. So the foul trouble was pretty tough for Boise State. I know Utah State did have a guy foul out as well. But how about 22 minutes for Jace Whiting? I was a little surprised there. Still not really sure what happened there. Roddy Anderson only plays 26 minutes. Jace Whiting got 22 minutes. But Jace Whiting had by far, I guess, tied with Omar, the best plus-minus on the team. Omar Stanley was Jace Whiting and Omar Stanley were +9, and Roddy Anderson was -14. So I didn't really think that Roddy was like killing him when he was out there on the court. I thought he should have played more. I was a little surprised that Jace was continuing to play based on the playing time we've seen in the previous games. Not to say I thought Jace did anything wrong. He was 2 for 3 from the field and had 5 points. And as I said, was a 9 plus minus, but I was just a little surprised as to why Roddy Anderson wasn't playing more. But again, he was -14, and maybe Leon just wasn't liking what he was seeing from him out there. He was 2 of 8 from the field. Cam Martin was 0 for 2. RJ Keene got 5 minutes. Who would have thought before the game RJ Keene would get more minutes than Jace Whiting? I didn't see that happening. But Boise State, again, just unable to get much from its bench. Only 7 bench points. Utah State had 18. You had Utah State with 12 second chance points off their 8 rebounds, and also 13 points off turnovers. And there were a couple of times where Boise State was up 4 or 5 and just, had a horrible turnover that led right to a layup for Utah State. So every time Boise State was trying to get a little separation, they just were sloppy with the ball and had some bad turnovers. It's one thing to have a turnover, but when your turnover leads to a 3-on-2 or a 2-on-1 layup the other way, it's just not, called live ball turnovers. It's just not what you're looking for right there. And that killed Boise State on multiple possessions in this game. When Leon Rice got the technical foul, that did kind of change things from an officiating call. I think the next 10 fouls in the game went against Utah State after Leon Rice's technical, but the game kind of switched as well in Utah State's favor. After those technical fouls right around there, Boise State was up 46-39 when Omar Stanley hit the three, but Utah State just kept battling back and ended up going on a 11-1 run after Omar Stanley's three. When Omar Stanley hit that three, Boise State was up 7 with 18 minutes to go in the game. You're thinking, okay, this is where Boise State takes control and wins this game pretty big, and just didn't happen. An 11-1 run for Utah State. Give Utah State a lot of credit. Every time Boise State would hit a couple shots, Utah State would come back and hit a big one. I thought Darius Brown, their point guard, came in as an assist man, but had 19 points tonight. I thought he was huge. Boise State actually did a pretty good job. Great Osabor only had 5 shot attempts. He did finish with 8 of 11 from the foul line. He was 14 and 10 tonight, 7 assists, but also had 7 turnovers. Utah State for the game ended up shooting 48%. They were 2 for 4 in overtime, but again, made 10 of 11 free throws in overtime. Utah State just hit some crucial free throws when they needed to. They were 26 of 31 from the line. Boise State, 23 of 31 from the line. You had to believe Omar Stanley missing the front end of a 1-and-1. He obviously missed that huge three-pointer there at the end. We're going to play that play here in a little bit and talk about it because I didn't really fully understand the reasoning. But as Leon Rice said, the big issue was Roddy Anderson kind of diving in instead of getting back on D. And next thing you know, you got 4 of your own guys inside the 3-point line, and they're going the other way on like a 3-on-1 break. And your one guy back is the free throw shooter, Omar Stanley, who's trying to guard the guy coming in for a layup. So that was just a disaster there at the end of the game. You still felt okay getting to overtime, but then just unable to do much of anything. As I said, 2 of 10 from the field in overtime, and Boise State for the game shoots 40%. They were 32% from 3, 9 of 28. Just couldn't hit enough big big shots when they needed to. And Utah State comes in here and picks up a big road win. I was dead wrong. All the Utah State fans are enjoying it and putting it in my mentions, and it's deserved, I guess, at this point. I really thought Boise State was going to come in here and handle business and win this game rather easily. I thought the crowd, which was great, over 12,000, biggest crowd of the season. The crowd was into it the whole game. They were loud. The student section showed up. It was the best atmosphere of the season by far. So kudos to the crowd. I was very impressed with how Utah State came in and handled this atmosphere. I did not expect Utah State to be able to kind of handle that. And they were poised. They hit some big shots, and major credit to Utah State for going on the road in a hostile environment and playing very, very well. So the Utah State fans are enjoying it. They're letting me have it in my mentions, and certainly that's well deserved at this point. They look like them and New Mexico right now clearly do look like the best 2 teams in the Mountain West. And so I wasn't fully sold on Utah State's schedule. I thought that they played a lot of nobodies in non-conference play, and I was expecting Boise State to come in here and be the tougher team and kind of be ready for this atmosphere and hand it to them pretty good. And it just did not happen. So full credit to Utah State. They played great. They made the plays when they needed to. Boise State certainly did not play one of its better games. And just like I said, kind of you feel like they kind of gave this one away with some of the plays down the stretch and just some sloppy turnovers. And but credit where it's due. Utah State, big road win for them. And I think that Utah State, certainly you go win on the road at Boise State to take over sole possession of first place. I think Utah State right now is a strong case to be number 1 in terms of the power rankings for next week. I mean, you're sole possession of first place. You've already got a road win in Boise. As Leon Rice said, now Boise State's going to have to go steal one. You look at Boise State's upcoming schedule: at New Mexico on Wednesday, home to Air Force, and then at Colorado State, at Utah State after that. It's going to be a really, really tough stretch here for Boise State. And you could be looking at 6-5 in conference here in a couple of weeks. So this was a tough one to lose. You really would have liked to have had this one at home. Not many people gave Utah State a chance. I saw a lot of gamblers picking Boise State. We saw the spread, creep up to 3. This was right there for the taking, and Boise State just unable to get it done. And when it happens on a missed free throw and then them coming the length of the floor in 7 seconds to tie the game, certainly a tough one for Boise State. Let's hear from some of the coaches. We'll hear from both coaches and the players. We're going to take a quick 90-second timeout, and then we'll hear first from Danny Sprinkle, the coach at Utah State. Then we'll hear from Leon Rice as well. But let's take a quick 90-second timeout. Continue to get your comments in. We'll read some of those, your thoughts. But again, tough one for Boise State. They lose 90-84 in overtime, dropping to 5-2, and Mountain West play 14-6 overall, not giving themselves much margin for room when we talk about the NCAA tournament and things like that. So a lot to discuss. We'll hear from the key components next in 90 seconds here on Bronco Nation News.
All Bronco Nation News broadcasts come from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of premix premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Cutwater Spirits, perfect for your next game day tailgate party. Our title sponsor is rowpaint.com. For all your commercial, industrial, residential painting needs, check out rowpaint.com. Don't forget about their concrete coatings. Transform that ugly concrete slab on your back patio in your garage in just one day. Contact rowpaint.com for a free estimate today. The official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, and our title sponsor at Bronco Nation News is rowpaint.com. Idaho Central Credit Union's been helping members achieve financial success for more than 80 years. There's an ICCU branch on almost every corner, but the closest is in your pocket with free eBranch mobile and online banking. See why more than 500,000 members love ICCU, and join 1 in 4 Idahoans by making the switch today at ICCU.com. Since 1984, Ridley's Family Markets has prided itself on being a hometown food and drug store that employed value members of the local community. Ridley's Family Markets has 13 locations in the state of Idaho and many more in the surrounding states. Download the new Ridley's app to your smartphone, get savings up to 40% off at the checkout line, and find a location near you at shopridleys.com. Former Bronco Matt Bauscher is once again the number 1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley. No home is too big or too small for Matt and his team. Let them fulfill all your real estate needs at BauscherRealEstate.com.
Back here live at ExtraMile Arena. We're in the Cutwater Studios. More than 35 flavors of premix premium cocktails. Make sure you pick one up at your local gas station or grocery store. Our title sponsor, of course, rowpaint.com. All your painting needs. Check them out, roepaint.com. We're talking interior, exterior of your home. We're talking commercial, industrial, you name it. And, of course, those concrete coatings, you can get that scheduled now for the spring. Highly recommend that. They've done that in our garage and in our basement, our back patio, and we couldn't be happier with the fine work at roepaint.com. So check them out and schedule a free estimate at roepaint.com. Let's hear from Danny Sprinkle, the victorious head coach. Almost cost his team the game with that technical. Again, he must have really said something to get teed up at that point in the game. But tough one for Boise State. They fall 90-84. The victorious coach, Danny Sprinkle, he was in a good mood. Let's hear from him after the win.
Awesome. Coach, if you want to start with an opening statement, then we can go to questions from the group.
Yeah, first thing I thought that was an awesome college basketball game. I mean, that was one of the best. I mean, environments, just the game, it was back and forth. Literally, we made a 7-0 run to start the game, and then it was back and forth the whole time, like run, and the crowd was in it the entire game. I thought their guys made some big time plays too, but at the end, thank God time ran out. We made just enough. But I thought we made some really aggressive plays, and we trusted our defense. We got a big stop with, I think, 9 seconds left. And Isaac Johnson got a huge rebound and threw it up to Ian, and Ian made an aggressive play getting to the rim. And, but even before that, we run a play to get a 3, and Josh Aduje makes a great pull-up jumper. Now, we were ready because we're like, hey, if they take away the 3, get the ball to the rim, and then we got to get in our press and foul. But I thought our guys just, when we needed it, they were ready, man. They weren't scared of the moment. We kept battling back from some adversity. Like, we had a bunch of open threes too that we'll make, and some careless turnovers, which fed to their, them staying in it a little bit too. But it was a, difference kind of came down to us being 26 of 31 at the free throw line, and they were 23 of 31. We made the huge runs at the end. Ian Martinez. There were so many big time plays by both teams. That's what made it a great game.
Yeah, I think we had 10 of 11 in overtime.
Yeah. So, and we needed all 10. We needed all 10. And so,
couldn't have asked for better, like you said, already said about the start of the game, at the start of overtime. He scored the first 6 points.
Yep.
Got some, like you said already, some good stops.
Yep.
That was probably pretty crucial.
Well, it was huge because then you just want to put pressure on the home team, and then like they're so good offensively and defensively. Like they don't have weaknesses. Like they're tough players. Like they make you earn it. And we got some stops. Even the ball rolled off the rim a couple times where just the basketball gods were on our side because they just, like I said, I got so much respect for Leon and his team, like just the way they play, like the way they carry themselves on the court, the way they work, like they're blue collar, and it's a tremendous win for our guys.
Can you talk a little bit about for this, what this means for you guys? I mean, as a program, I mean, you're here, everybody's new. I mean, pretty much, and you, as far as like your resume, how it looks. I mean, you're ranked, but haven't beaten a lot of those top quad 1 teams, and to come in here on the road and win one, there's still a lot. Still have a lot left to go. But what do you think it says about your team being able to come into here, an environment like this, and win this type of game?
Yeah, I think it shows our team believes. Our team, they believe they can win, and they've proved it. We've played some really good teams in the non-conference, and like I said, it was our first quad 1 win on the road. But in an environment like that, that takes guts. It takes a lot of heart, a lot of luck, a lot of guts, smarts, you name it. And I think it just shows the guys like, hey, when we have a week of practice like we did, this is the type of stuff that happens. Now it doesn't guarantee you, but I knew we were going to play well because we had a great week of practice and their focus, their attention to detail, and we got to continue to get better. And our guys know, like, in the Mountain West, it doesn't stop. And we're going to enjoy the hell out of this until midnight. And then, like our slogan, man, rent's due tomorrow. Like, we got a really good San Jose State team coming Tuesday. There's not time to bask in the win. Like, enjoy it till midnight, and then we got to get better tomorrow. Because there's a lot of stuff that we got to clean up. Like the transition defense where we just left Dagenhart wide open at one of the most critical. That's unacceptable. And we have to clean that stuff up.
You talk about your technical there?
Yeah. I don't want to say too much of it. I know at that time I did not cuss at the ref. With a minute left, you have to have some savvy, and I guess you can say I have to have savvy, whatnot, but like I'm not going to say anything about that because it's, there was something to it, I don't know, but
did he tell you what happened? Because I'm sure he went on the court.
What happened was they came down and they called us for a foul, and we probably did, we came home. Very next play, I thought it was the same contact, it was great. And obviously the ref they didn't call it, and I thought it was I'll see it on film, who knows, I'm probably wrong. But I didn't cuss at him, I went like this, he was coming down too. T with a minute, come on, man. So it is what it is. It's
I don't know if he told you while you were on the court, or he said you're on the court or something.
Yeah, both coaches were on the court. Leon was on the court the whole game. I was if you're gonna call it then, call it the whole game.
Right.
And like I said, I'm not going at the official. He made the call. And like I said, who knows? I may have been in the wrong, but I know I didn't cuss at him at that moment, and it is what it is.
Well, you can hear the rest of Danny Sprinkle on our YouTube channel. We've already got that posted, but I agree with him. Maybe that's not going to sit well in this chat, but you got to call a technical foul with a minute left in the game. If he says he didn't cuss, that's pretty bad. You can't call a technical foul in that spot of the game, a 1-point game. That's just a huge call to make at that point in the game, and I didn't think it was worthy of a technical foul either, and I thought it was going to basically almost hand Boise State a win, but they weren't able to make enough shots down the stretch and couldn't pull it out. Let's play this play here and break this down here. I want to pause this first. This is the free throw that Omar Stanley took, and there's 7.4, maybe 7.9. I think it's 7.9 left in the game. First of all, Boise State has 2 guys down at the free throw line. So we're going to play this out here. The free throw is missed. 2 guys dive in. And if you see on the far left here, first of all, I wouldn't have had the 2 guys in. I think you need to have your 2 guys back, pressure the ball at half court. But I would not allow them to, and I guess the trade-off to that is you give them an easy rebound. You let them have no trouble getting across half court. But I would have had your big guys back. I get it. A 3 and you lose the game. A 2 at least goes goes to overtime. So maybe you're not wanting to pressure, stay back too much and let them have a 3. But according to Leon Rice, who you'll hear in a minute, part of the problem came when Omar, right there, Roddy Anderson runs in. If we play that back again, Roddy Anderson runs in to try to steal the ball right here instead of trying to get back. And now all of a sudden, look, you've got 3 guys below the free throw line with the clock running. And this was not a good situation for Boise State to be in. You've got 3 guys at that end of the court, and you're giving Utah State a fairly easy breakout here. And then it's Omar Stanley having to guard the guy with the ball, and he goes at length of the floor and lays it in pretty much by himself. So a tough situation here because you look, Boise State's, trying to come back, and all of Utah State's players are still, at half court. So I asked Leon Rice about it. He said that he wanted to have the guys in there for a tip-in or try to get the offensive rebound, but he said that the problem may have come with Roddy Anderson being the one that should have stayed back and pressured the ball and not been diving in. But that was a key spot in the game, and it goes Utah State's way, and it ends up going to overtime, and Boise State falls in overtime. So I thought that was a critical, it's easy to second guess and say it at the time, but that's one where you could have probably had guys back and had your defense a little more set. But Leon Rice said that is not, that they usually play it with guys up there, and they didn't want to give them an easy rebound. And then, as I said, you lose the game on a 3-pointer. So if you're too far back and you're not pressuring them and you leave them an open shot at the 3-point line, all of a sudden you lose the game instead of win it. So let's take a quick 90-second timeout. We'll get to some of your comments here. I want to hear from the players and Leon Rice as well, Tyson Degenhart, as well as Omar Stanley. So appreciate you guys for sticking with us. I know this is not a fun one to talk about a loss, and it's a Saturday afternoon. You got a lot to do, but we appreciate you guys sticking with us. And we'll hear from Boise State's players and coach next here on Bronco Nation News.
Bronco Nation News is sponsored by Tommy Alquist and Ball Ventures Alquist, Idaho's premier commercial real estate development company. BVA projects specialize in office, retail, flex, medical, and industrial spaces located at some of the most strategic and visible locations in the valley. Need a developer? Looking for new space? Think BVA. At BVA, we are Idaho's developer. The Nicolason family and SON management have proudly been operating Taco Bell restaurants in and around the Treasure Valley since 1969. One of the first to make a 7-figure donation to the Lyle Smith Society, they've also stepped up their support of Boise State athletics with the Taco Bell men's and women's basketball endowed scholarships. The Nicolason family and SON management have committed at least $310,000 by 2026. Get more information on their financial support of Boise State athletics and find information on applying to work at Taco Bell at tacobellworks.com. Lithia Ford of Boise is a proud supporter of Boise State athletics and the official car and truck of the Broncos. Lithia Ford of Boise supports Bronco student athletes through NIL deals, including providing Ford vehicles to Taylon Green and Riley Smith from the football team and Paige Barsh from the volleyball team. Rain's family purchased our F-150 from Lithia Ford. Couldn't be happier with the purchase. Check out the all-electric F-150 Lightning or the electric Mustang Mach-E at Lithia Ford, and make sure to check out their full inventory of vehicles at lithiafordboise.com. The Blue and Orange Store is the perfect spot to get all your gear for your next Bronco game. The Blue and Orange Store has official Nike apparel, including jerseys, shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, hats, and more. Wear what the Broncos wear and get it at the Blue and Orange Store, the second floor of the Boise Town Square Mall, or get free shipping on a $40 order online at theblueandorangestore.com.
Well, I see that there's some Utah State folks in here, and good for them. I know you guys are going back and forth in the chat, but I was wrong, and I got to take it. So folks Utah State fans want to come in here and rip me on social media, which is happening right now as we speak. Well-deserved. As I said, I'll take it. I was wrong. I thought Boise State would win this game. Thought they'd win it rather easily, and I thought Boise State was the better team going into this game. Now, I don't think you can objectively say that. Even if you feel Boise State gave this game away, I still think you have to have Utah State ranked high right now. They just came in and picked up a road win in your building if you're a Boise State fan. So kudos, Utah State fans. Nice win. You guys looked impressive, and I think Utah State and New Mexico are certainly the top 2 teams in the league right now. And so that's going to be a tough one going back to Logan here in 2 weeks. I mean, that's 2 weeks from today. They're right back in Logan for this rematch. So that's going to be a tough one for Boise State. And now all of a sudden you see Boise State having to go to the Pit on Wednesday, and they're playing really well at home. That's going to be a tough one. So this is kind of a crossroads in Boise State's season right now. They've got to find a way to pick off one of these road games, or as I said, you're going to be looking up at 6-5 in conference, and they're going to be at 9 or 10 losses here pretty quick, which doesn't bode well for an at-large bid when you're a mid-major team with 9 or 10 losses. So this was one you really needed to have at home, and to not be able to get it, if I'm Utah State, I'm ecstatic on the bus ride back. Just a huge road win, probably the best win in the Mountain West to date for any team for them to come in here to Boise and get this win. Huge win for them in terms of the standings and what it means. So kudos to Utah State. They played great. They deserved to win, and they were the better team today. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And yes, I was certainly wrong. But as some people have pointed out, it was an overtime team to a overtime loss to a ranked team. So it's a tough one because of the standings and things like that, but it was a quad one game. And, it's not a killer from that standpoint. It's not a, bad loss, but certainly a home loss game that, it's more of a tough loss knowing the games you still have to play here coming down the pipe. And so every win matters at this point. Would have been another quad one win, would have been 5, in terms of that. So that makes it tough, certainly from that standpoint. But there are some other games coming up, and certainly a chance for Boise State to pick one off in New Mexico on Wednesday. You go find a way to win at the Pit, and all of a sudden you're back on track. So James says they have 6. Yeah, they're 14-6 at this point. So that'd be 9, but the Mountain West is stronger. I maybe. I don't know. Maybe. I think that that's what I'm just saying. When you're already at 6 losses and you still have to go to Viejas Arena and the Pit and some of these places, it's not that's why you really can't give away these home games. So tough one for Boise State, but Tyson and Omar talked to the media after the game. Let's hear some of their comments. Omar, you had the free throw that could have put you up 3 and they come back and tie it. I mean, how tough is it to have that happen and then lose in overtime?
Yeah, it's definitely tough, you know what I mean? And, even after that, I fouled out. And so, I definitely want to be out there for the team. But, stuff like that happens. It's a game of basketball. And, sometimes the game takes, sometimes the game gives. So.
You obviously shot so well at the free throw line, made some big ones. I mean, is that just how it goes sometimes? How tough was it to not be able to hit both of them?
Yeah, it's really tough, you know what I mean? And I'm really hard on myself about that, about just little things like that, But I know, I'll bounce back. I know we'll bounce back, so.
Tyson, it just didn't feel. Seeing you guys play so much, it just felt like, just a little turnover here or something there. Like you find your rhythm and then you wouldn't. How would you explain just the ebb and flow of this game today? It feels like you guys didn't play your best game.
I don't think we did. I think we had some good, really, really good stretches, and right after that stretch, we'd have a really bad play, and we just couldn't find that consistency offensively and even defensively. We had some pretty bad defensive laps even on my part, and we're gonna have to watch those and correct them. So.
Tyson, along kind of the same lines, asked of Omar, just after you guys got that technical foul, and you're up 3, it just kind of seemed like you had control of it. Just how disappointed is it to not be able to finish it, and just to get to overtime and then just not come up in overtime?
It's definitely a tough spot. With the San Diego State game, we were up 8 with 40 seconds left, and we let it get to 1. And I think we did a better job tonight of staying poised in that moment. And I know he's going to make every other free throw that he shoots from here on out. And that's just the way it goes sometimes.
I know it's not your guys' call, but you kept guys in on the free throw there, and end up having like a fairly easy break back the other way. What'd you make of the last after you missed the free throw? Just what'd you make of the how it finished out there where they came down and got the layup?
I think most importantly, we didn't want to foul him. You know what I mean? We didn't want to get him on the line. And so it's just the game of basketball and stuff like that happens. So.
Can you do anything differently there, Tyson? Once they get the rebound, you're just kind of in scramble mode. What did you kind of see there?
Yeah, I mean, for us 2 guys on the free throw lane, us try to go get a tip, try to get the ball somehow, and then from there it's scramble drill for I think it was 7 seconds left, and closest 2 takes the ball, and just try to find a way to get that one stop, and we just didn't get it tonight.
Tyson, both you and Omar are playing in foul trouble there at the final 3 minutes of regulation. Obviously, he picks up his first or his 5th one there at the beginning of overtime. Did that change the game at all? Just the trying to avoid the fouls?
It's definitely tough playing in foul trouble, and it was hard playing without him. He makes such an impact on the game, both offensively, defensively. It's hard not having him out there, especially in overtime.
I feel like you guys kind of gave one away today. I mean, just to have a home game like this and then be up, 3 or 4, whatever it was in the final 30 seconds, and just how do you kind of big picture try to look at this in the course of the season here?
The Mountain West is a hard conference. You got to bring your A game every night, and because we have a lot of good teams, and you look at some of the results that have happened today. Some might be surprising, some might be, what you expected, but you got to bring your A game every night because there's too many good teams, too many good players to take one game off.
I guess for either one of you, with Osimor, I mean, he's only had like 5 shots tonight. What do they do kind of differently on offense? And then, I mean, Brown's usually the facilitator. He winds up with over 15 shots or something like that. Like, he was kind of hunting his shot, it seemed like tonight.
We were trying to, make it hard for Osimor and his shots, and he had 7 assists tonight, so he definitely made an impact on the game, even though he wasn't scoring at his usual clip. 10 rebounds, 3 offensive rebounds, so yeah.
One of your third foul is kind of a tough one there, Tyson, but picking up your third foul at the end of the first half and you get your fourth, just how much more difficult does that make, for you to do what you want to do?
It's tough, especially getting that fourth one, knowing that your next one you're going to be out. But there's some things in that first half, like defensively, that I could have done better to not put myself in that situation. And I think that's the thing I'm going to take forward is just doing my work early so I don't put myself in that position because it's hard to play with foul trouble.
You guys missed your first 6 shots of overtime and 2 for 10 overall in the overtime period. What was the struggles offensively in the overtime period?
We just really didn't get into a rhythm. Didn't think we had the best offensive sets like how we ran them. I think we had good sets, good ideas of what we were going to call, and we just didn't execute.
There is Tyson Degenhardt and Omar Stanley. We appreciate them for joining us. I see all the Leon Rice haters are out in full force on the chat as well. Again, there are some things you can question him for in this game, but if Omar Stanley makes that free throw, they're up 3 with 7 seconds left, and who knows what happens. So it's real easy to go right to the coaching when they lose a game, but there's a lot more to it than that. And I think Omar missing the front end of a 1-and-1 again. Another free throw that he had missed. Tyson Degenhardt earlier in the game got fouled shooting a 3, only made 1 of the 3, and then got a bonus one when a guy was in the lane and still missed it. It was 1 of 4 at that point in the game. So, they went 23 of 31. Max Rice missed 2 free throws. Omar missed the key one there. It was certainly a tough go from the foul line today for Boise State. Roddy Anderson missed the front end of a 1-and-1, I believe. So it is easy to blame the coaching. And I was a little critical of the coaching earlier in the show. I thought they should have had the guys back on the free throw line. I'm not being an apologist for Leon Rice here. I just think that when guys miss free throws and there's other things, it's real easy to go to the coaching. But again, it would have been a lot different if a foul shot or 2 goes in there late in the game. You guys are talking about minutes played. Yeah, I mean, it was a little interesting. Jace Whiting getting 22 minutes. I mean, I would not have expected Roddy Anderson to play 26, Jace Whiting to play 23. I thought Anderson would be well over 30. But again, Chibuzo Abo played 40 minutes and 33 seconds today. Max Rice, 37 minutes. And like I said, you're kind of pot committed and you're just going to hope Max starts making some shots, but 4 of 15, he really struggled again today. And he was 3 of 8 from 3-point range. I mean, his struggles really are on those post ups and floaters and stuff we talked about earlier in the show. It just was they're just not going in. And so it's just one of those weird, games, and it's become a weird season for Max Rice, where a lot of those short floaters and shots that he's made in the past just are not going in right now. So I don't know if he needs to stop shooting them or just hope they're going to start going in or what, but he played 38 minutes in this game, goes 4 of 15. Again, Abo played 40 minutes and was 4 of 14. So people are ripping on Max Rice for playing too much and shooting too much, but Chibuzo Abo was right there with them, 4 of 14, only 2 of 8 from 3-point range, and was 40 minutes and 33 seconds. So Stanley fouling out was a big part in the game. I thought Cam Martin played 25 minutes, did have 6 rebounds and 2 points and 2 assists and a steal, but they were minus 14 with Cam Martin on the floor tonight. So just when Omar Stanley was not in the game, they really struggled. They were +9 with him out there. So RJ Keene got more minutes than Andrew Meadow. would not have seen that coming. 5 minutes, 27 seconds for Keene, 5 minutes, 5 seconds for Meadow. Didn't really see that coming tonight at all, but Keene got a couple minutes and had a rebound and kept the possession alive. Also had a turnover. He was a +1 when he was out there, but Andrew Meadow, who we thought was starting to work his way into the rotation, was a -4 and had 1 turnover, no shot attempts in 5 minutes and 5 seconds for him. So Tyson Degenhart, you're going to hear Leon Rice in a minute talking about him. I thought he obviously played really well, and I thought that he was did some things nicely. He was 7 of 12 from the field, 8 of 12 from the foul line, but again, a couple key missed free throws in this one, and does finish with 24 points. But Boise State missed 8 free throws. They were 23 of 31, so they missed 8 free throws, and then you had same number of attempts for Utah State, and they had 26 makes. So 3 extra free throws end up being a big, makes for Utah State ended up being big. You had 20 fouls called on 23 fouls on Utah State, 21 on Boise State. So, it was a balanced game, equally poor officiating for both sides, and just as a couple plays here and there just did not go Boise State's way, and it ends up being a tough loss for Boise State. So Leon Rice, Boise State's coach, he met with the media after the game. Let's hear from Leon Rice, if I can find it here. Again, 90-84, the final. You can subscribe. BNN50 deals, our promo code. You can read my exclusive article here after the game. Mike Prater's got a column that he's working on as well. But $50 for a full year to BroncoNationNews.com. We would love and appreciate your support. We got 3 road trips coming up in the next 2 weeks that we got to pay for. And so any help in terms of a subscription would be awesome for that. And it does enter you in our weekly contest. We'll be giving away some gift cards and some cool items. And our grand prize here in a couple of weeks will be a trip for 2 on a private jet to the San Diego game at the end of the season. But for now, let's hear from Leon Rice. I asked him about the officiating, asked him about that. The second question was about whether or not they should have had guys on the line there. So, we tried to get what we could out of Leon, and here he is after a 90-84 overtime loss to Utah State. To be up there and then miss the free throw, have them tie it, and then to kind of fall overtime, how tough was that one?
Yeah, it was tough, and the way Omar's been drilling those clutch free throws, there's nobody else that you'd rather have at the line, and kind of just went in and out. And then I'll tell you, you got to give Martinez credit. He just took off, and there was 1 second left by the time he laid it in, and he didn't, he could have kind of maybe panicked and pulled up at 3, and that's just a tough, great play by that kid, but and then we almost got that rebound on it too. But it was that kind of game. I mean, it was right there. And then, a thing here or there, one play here or there, just changed the whole game. And, I'm anxious to see the ball that got tipped out. I thought we were going to have the ball with 16 seconds to go down 2, or that's pretty good possession, a pretty good place to be. But they overturned it, and we'll see.
Are you confident that the free throws going in from Omar? Is there any thought to not having guys up there on the line to have the defense a little more set?
I always like to keep them on the line. It helps our guys, and we never, usually have a problem with that, but we kind of jumped at their point guard instead of getting back, and we should have been, we should have been back to collar the ball. But we also, in that situation too, you didn't want to give up a 3, and so our guys were a little more spread out than they should have been, thinking that he might kick it for a 3, but he got it all the way to the rim. And, you had Omar running with him too. That's not, that's a guy that can block a shot. He just, like I said, Martinez got down the court quick and made a nice play.
Tyson had just 3 points with 12 minutes to play, finishes with 24.
Yeah.
What can you say about him in the second half?
He was terrific, and, he's such a winner. And he struggled with a few things, and then he corrected it and got going. And, he's just a winner. And I got winners, and, that's just league. When you're playing a great league with great teams, it's just a fine line. And, it's going to be 1 or 2 plays, but it's, we got to be able to bounce back, and out of the frying pan into the fire. Our next one's at New Mexico. They're maybe playing better than anybody in the league right now.
You mentioned Tyson making adjustment.
What does it take to kind of make an adjustment on the fly like that?
Yeah, it takes mental toughness because, he's beating himself up, and Tyson wants to do everything perfect for this team and, not for himself, for the team. And, so I really proud of the way he reset himself, and it was pretty cool. He's in his own head a little bit up from the free throw line, but what was cool was I look up and Max put Tyson at the line instead of taking the free throws to kind of get his mind right, and he went and made them both.
Losing Omar 30 seconds into the overtime period, and then you already have Tyson with 4
Yeah.
fouls. Was there kind of an emphasis on trying to avoid him getting the foul, or did that kind of change the way you played at all?
Yeah, there's nothing you can do when a guy just falls down and then they call a foul. But there's no technique you can change. There's no, guy fell down, called a foul.
Well, 150 games today, I get it, but do you wish for a game of this magnitude you would have a little more veteran crew?
That's a trick question, I think. Yeah, I think the first part of what you said is probably the most important thing. I mean, how many games today?
A lot.
Yeah, I think everybody, no doubt. And this game deserved, but there's a reality to it. I mean, there's only so many.
Fans are getting this atmosphere, it feels like almost every night.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome.
What's fun is that when you do have time to sit there in a brief second, Leon, and just kind of look around and see what you guys have done with this team.
It's really special, and it helped our guys, because the game went long, so the minutes went long, and guys were tired, and it lifted us, no doubt. And I'm so grateful for our fans because, think about the games they get to see. Okay, it didn't end the way we wanted it to, but they got to see a heck of a college basketball game with 2 NCAA tournament teams, and it goes down to the final shot, goes down to overtime, goes down to did he touch it, did he not? Our guys did all they could, and they battled. And the thing that I've said to our team, and we've been on a steady growth through the year, but I don't think we're playing our best yet. I don't think it's I think we have a lot of room for growth, and we have to grow to for what's ahead of us.
How Chase played you gave him extra.
Yeah, he was great. He was tough. It's not always the end all plus minus, but he had a good feel to him, and yeah. All these guys will kick them. They're such great guys. They'll all kick themselves for a turnover late. That didn't lose us the game. I didn't get my hand up on a 3-point shot. These guys beat themselves up about that stuff, and because they care about their teammates, they care about each other. They want to do it for the team and the jersey, and they're the so it doesn't change the way we think about any of these guys that we lost. We got a great team, and we lost to a really good team that has a great record. They haven't lost many.
2 for 10 shooting in the overtime period.
Yeah.
Were you happy with the shot selection? Would you like to see better shots, or did you think that you guys were taking the shots that were best available?
I don't know. I'll have to see the film. Film will tell me the true tale. I think it affects you probably mentally when, Omar fouled out. I think I saw, and you didn't have that many timeouts. We were kind of trying to use them, but I think that affected the team when, he's been unbelievable down the stretch of games. And, so it's like, you got to get him out because you got to have him, look at the Fresno game. Gets that rebound, and all of a sudden the guys look around and he fouled out. And Cam had played a great game too, and it's not saying that. It's just Omar's been spectacular down the stretch of games. And to have him foul out on a, because a guy fell down is a tough one.
You guys, had a 22-game winning streak at home not long ago. We contend for Mount West Conference titles. Obviously, it's important to defend your home floor. How much more kind of pressure might this put on?
It's no pressure. It's just, every game we're going to win. Our approach is the same no matter what. But, this is a league where you just got to go try to find a way to steal one somewhere, and that that's our mindset, and who knows? You just keep sawing wood and you keep fighting and show up the next day, have a great practice, and away we go. And but it doesn't add to the pressure. There's, 4 losses will probably win this league. Maybe 3, and I bet it won't be 3. Now, Utah State doesn't go to Nevada, and they don't have UNLV at home, so they got a good hop there. But I still stand by that 4 probably wins the league. We only have 2.
Yeah, it seems like every time you guys would get up 4 or 5, it'd just be a turnover. That
Yeah,
run out
yeah.
or something.
I think we got up 6 or 7 on and then we turned it over twice for touchdowns. That was costly, no doubt, that was costly.
What did you think of the way that Utah State kind of mixed things up? I mean, Oscar only attempted 5 shots, and Brown was usually kind of like the facilitator. It was a team high 16.
Brown is a great player. What a good point guard. I mean, we got great players in this league, and he's a underrated point guard because he's a true point guard. He takes the right ones. He runs the show. He's tough. He's a shot maker when they need it most. I mean, he had a big 3 when they were, there was a little lull in scoring. And, if you would have told me that Great's number, was 14, and we held him 14 and 10, and had 7 turnovers, I'd said, yeah, we did a great, amazing job on him. But they're good, like I said, they're a good team, and they made enough plays.
Well, there he is, Leon Rice. We appreciate him for his time. Boise State falling 90-84 in overtime to Utah State. The Broncos, no rest for the weary. As Leon Rice said, it's out of the frying pan into the fire. They're at New Mexico on Wednesday night. If you want to watch New Mexico, they play tomorrow night against Nevada. 8 p.m. game. So get the kids to bed, grab a Cutwater, and you can watch New Mexico and Nevada. That is at New Mexico. So another New Mexico has a very favorable schedule here, as Utah State has had so far. New Mexico playing a lot of home games against the good teams, and they'll have the road games later in the season. So back-to-back home games. New Mexico gets Nevada on Sunday, and then they'll have Boise State on Wednesday. So Bronco Nation News, we will be heading to the pit. We travel everywhere the Broncos go, we go. We've missed 1 game this year, and that was the St. Mary's game due to it being the night before the conference championship. So we are the only local media outlet, if you don't count Bob and Abe, obviously, but the rest of the media doesn't travel to the road games. We do, and we provide the best coverage that we can for you. So hopefully, win or lose, you're appreciative. And again, BNN 50 deal. We'd love to have you for $50. Sign up for a subscription, and you get exclusive content and shows and a daily email. And then you're entered in all of our giveaways for some cool prizes and things like that. So I know that right now, folks probably aren't thinking about partying in a pool at the Mountain West tournament, but we would love to have you guys join us. We've been telling you about it, and we'll continue to tell about it as we get closer to the tournament. But Reigns at BroncoNationNews.com. You can email an RSVP, and we'll waive the cover charge there at Circa Resort and Casino. Friday, March 15th, semifinal Friday. Boise State will either be playing in the semifinals and you'll be in a great mood, or they will have lost the day before and you'll be needing to, party off your frustration with the loss. So either way, Friday, March 15th, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., stadium swim at Circa Resort and Casino. We'll have a private pool. We'll have a cabana area. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll have food and drinks, and hopefully you'll make plans to join us there at Stadium Swim in Las Vegas. And again, email me for free entry, Reigns at BroncoNationNews.com. By the way, how about Colorado State? They were up by 11 points with barely a minute to go, and I believe that they I know they lost, but they blew. I believe they're up 11 with about a minute to go. They blew the game. They lose that one, and so Colorado State drops to 3-4. And let's see if we can pull the updated Mountain West standings onto the screen here. These are courtesy of CBS Sports Network or CBSSports.com. We'll pull these in now. Free Best Buy sponsorship there, I guess, but we'll put them full screen for a second just so you can see them. But you got Utah State now in sole possession of first place at 6-1. New Mexico, San Diego State, Boise State all tied at 5-2. And again, New Mexico a strong chance to go to 6-2 tomorrow when they host Nevada. So you're going to have Colorado State and Nevada probably with 4 losses each. Look at Wyoming there at 4-3. They've now beaten UNLV and they've beaten Nevada, and they've beaten Colorado State back-to-back, I think, at home, or at least within the last week. So kudos to Wyoming and Jeff Linder. That is not going to be an easy place to play. But you're going to have Colorado State already with 4. You're going to probably have Nevada with 4. And as you heard Leon Rice say, it's going to take probably 4 losses is going to be the champion, and Boise State only has 2. So not a terrible spot to be in for Boise State, but when you look at the games they have coming up, and as I said, having to go to New Mexico, you're looking at maybe 5-3 right there. And then you do have Air Force that gets you to 6-3, but then you've got back-to-back road games at Colorado State and at Utah State. So the Colorado State game one, you think you might have a chance to get. That becomes a massive game now. But Boise State does have a quote-unquote easier stretch, but one of those includes a road game at Wyoming, where if you're now seeing it's not very easy to play, as Colorado State and Nevada both go there and lose. So not going to get easier at all for Boise State here moving forward. But again, congrats to Utah State. They are in sole possession of first place. A nice win for them. And that was a high-level basketball game. It was a lot of fun. The crowd was amazing, and Boise State just unable to get it done today. It was one of those kind of special environments. It was great. Kudos to the students. It was by far the loudest crowd of the season. I thought the crowd was great tonight, and I thought that it was a lot of fun, except for the final result. And that's just how basketball goes. You miss a free throw, they hit a bucket, you go to overtime, and then you can't hit a couple shots and you lose. So that's a tough one for Boise State, but they're still right there in the mix, and now they'll try to see if they can go steal a big one at the Pit on Wednesday. Appreciate you guys for checking us out. Again, BNN50 deals the promo code. We'd love to have you subscribe if you can. Most of everybody else is pretty much cleared out of the arena here. I am going to have to go in the back and write my story now. So we've got plenty still to do. We'll take all the equipment down here from the show, and then we'll get a full story up on BroncoNationNews.com for our subscribers here within the next couple of hours. So tough one. I get it. It's not fun. But certainly Utah State deserved this one. They made more plays late. And right now, if I was doing some sort of power rankings, I think you probably have to have Utah State 1 and New Mexico 2. I think Utah State deserves to be first right now. They're in sole possession of first place, and they've got a road win at Boise State. I think Utah State is probably first. New Mexico is probably second. And then from there, I think you have to look at it. Probably San Diego State is third. And then I think you still probably put Boise State fourth, Colorado State fifth, Nevada, Wyoming in that mix there. So I still think Boise State right now is top 5, but they're probably fourth. But you got to put Utah State and New Mexico, I think, right now in the top 2 spots with how they're playing, and Boise State giving up 1 at home here. So tons still to get to all week. We're going to help you preview the game Monday morning. We'll have Mike Prater and myself at 9 a.m. Enjoy watching some football tomorrow. Go Chiefs and Lions. That's what I'm hoping for. Chiefs and Lions in the Super Bowl would be kind of fun. So hope everybody enjoyed it. And again, congrats to Utah State. Big road win for them. Boise State fans, keep your head up. A lot of games left, and it's looking a little dicey now, but who knows? They may go find a way to win at the Pit, and then they're right back on track. So big one on Wednesday. We'll break it down every day at 9 a.m. Monday will be Mike Prater. Tuesday, Jay Tuss, and then John Mallory on Wednesday. I'll be heading down to the Pit on Tuesday. So appreciate everybody for watching. Bronco 130 wondering about the turnovers by Degenhart. Yeah, back-to-back turnovers when they were up 5. Those were killer. And as Leon Rice said, those led to touchdowns the other way because they're pretty much just easy layups, and they're gone. They're almost like pick 6. Those were big plays and definitely killed the momentum in this one. So fun day, except for the result. Boise State falls, but a lot of games left, and we'll see what happens Wednesday at New Mexico. So I see some of the NIT talk in the chat. Not quite ready to go there yet. This league is too good, and Boise State, I think, is too good to all of a sudden just give up on the NCAA tournament. So all you guys that are new commenters, I hope you'll subscribe. We got some trolls in here. We got some other folks that look like first-time commenters. We'd love to have you subscribe. $50, BroncoNationNews.com, full year. You got a chance to win some cool giveaways, some cool prizes, and we'll take that private jet trip down to down to San Diego for the final game of the regular season. We'd love to have you do that as well. So I'm going to go work on my story. Subscribers can check that out a little later tonight. All the interviews, Leon Rice, Omar Stanley, Tyson Degenhart, Danny Sprinkle are all up on the YouTube channel. We'll get some highlights up as well. About an hour for this edition of the Lithia Florida Boise postgame show in the books. We're in the Cutwater Studios, more than 35 flavors of premix premium cocktails, and a couple of Cutwaters probably going to go down pretty smooth tonight. Been a long day and obviously a disappointing finish for Boise State, but as I said, a lot of season left, a lot of games left. And tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, you can watch New Mexico. Maybe don't, because I think they're going to play pretty well and beat Nevada, and you're going to see the kind of atmosphere Boise State's going to have to go in on Wednesday. It may not make you feel any better about Wednesday's game watching tomorrow night, but 8 p.m. tomorrow night after the football is over, you can flip over and watch Nevada at New Mexico on a Sunday night. Jordan, always appreciate you. Thank you. Hope the mention slow down. Fortunate to have the coverage. Grateful subscriber. Appreciate you, Jordan. Really do. Thank you for that. Thank you guys for the kind words. And, I'll take it. Utah State, I still feel that last week I was correct in where I had the rankings were, but as you see more games play out, the data changes and your opinion changes, and I think certainly Utah State has done enough now to be higher up in the rankings. No doubt about it. And if Nevada is able to get a win, or New Mexico is able to get a win on Monday, on Wednesday, they may have to be right up there at the top as well. So tough one for Boise State. Again, 90-84. They fall in overtime. Check out LithiaFordBoise.com, our sponsor here on the pre- and post-game shows. Their full inventory of vehicles. They got a couple new NIL deals, by the way. I don't think I'm allowed to say who, but Tuesday at 4 o'clock, there's going to be an event and a press release and a press conference. Couple new football players, couple new athletes getting some new trucks from Lithia Florida Boise. You can check that out on Tuesday at 4 o'clock for more details. But Jim Sturk and Lithia stepping up again as they always do. I mentioned our title sponsor, rowpaint.com. Interior, exterior of your home. If you're looking for a commercial, industrial, residential, they can do it all. All your painting needs at roepaint.com. And of course, their concrete coatings. They've done it in our basement, in our garage, our back patio, and we've used them multiple times. And we're very happy with the service at rowpaint.com and thankful they're our title sponsor. Taco Bell, by the way, go out and get that fourth meal. Have dinner tonight. If you're looking for a spot to go, breakfast tomorrow, Taco Bell. Highly recommend it. Delicious food. And by the way, they're hiring. So if you're looking for a job, TacoBellWorks.com, one of the Treasure Valley Taco Bell locations. They'd love to have you working for them. And they got a cool deal where they're offering half of their pay the next day after your shift. So you can work a shift and get some quick cash, quick payment the next day. If that's something that appeals to you and you're looking for a job and you want your money quick, you can take advantage of that. You get free food as well while you're working at Taco Bell. So thank you to Taco Bell. And I saw Travis Hawks here at the Blue and Orange store. Make sure if you're looking for some new Boise State gear, I got both my boys new sweatshirts at the Blue and Orange store recently. Very appreciative of them. So all of our sponsors, some that I haven't mentioned, some that I have, you can check them out on our sponsor page at BroncoNationNews.com. So appreciative and thankful for all you guys. And I apologize if I forgot to mention some of you today, but please go support the sponsors. Please subscribe if you can, and try to have a good rest of the weekend, even though the loss obviously was tough today for Boise State. So in overtime, final score 90-84. I'll have my story posted here in about 2 hours. You can read that. And then Monday morning, Mike Prater and I will talk to you. We'll know the teams in the Super Bowl, and we'll know what happened in that Nevada-New Mexico game, and we'll have a 36 hours to kind of sleep this one off and think about it, and we'll put things in perspective Monday morning at 9 a.m. on Bronco Nation News Live. So make sure YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all of our social media channels, you're following us there, and you're hopefully subscribing, as I said, with that BNN 50 deal promo code on the website. So thanks again. Appreciate all you guys. Thanks to rowpaint.com, our title sponsor. Very appreciative of all the support. And I got to shake hands with 4 or 5 of you guys today as you come by the spot here, and always enjoy saying hello and meeting new people. And so thank you so much. And again, we'll talk to you guys. Try to have a good rest of the weekend. The sun will rise tomorrow. There are more games for Boise State, long season still to go. And we'll have you covered, as we always do, at Bronco Nation News. So final score, 90-84. BJ Rains signing off from ExtraMile Arena, the Cutwater Studios. This has been the Lithia Florida Boise postgame show, a presentation, rowpaint.com and Bronco Nation News. Thanks for joining us, guys, and we'll talk to you Monday morning at 9 a.m.